the video that I'm going to show today is how to remove a caliper on a 2007 Yukon Denali. And what I got here is I already took the wheel off. What you'll need for tools is you'll need a probably 1/2 inch wrench, and you'll need a 13. We can see that. And you also need a number 20 metric wrench. That is to remove this bolt here, and underneath here, this one right here, if you can see that. Alright, so what you'll do is you'll put the wrench up onto the 13-inch head of that bolt right here. As you can see the whole caliper. And then the 20mm open-end wrench will go onto this hex head right here. This is because this part right here will actually spin when you loosen this one up. So I'll get that loosened up and I'll be back. Alright, so I went ahead and loosened the top one and the bottom one up completely, so I can take that one out. And this one up here, you'll have to actually pull the force towards the outside of the rotor here to push that that piston back in, so you can remove this caliper. Once you get to that point, you should be able to lift up. Alright, once that caliper's out of the way and set up in a safe spot, it won't pull on that line. What we'll do now is we'll actually pull the pads off and lay them down just the way they came off, so you don't mix them up. So they'll just come out of that groove. There's a groove top and bottom, as you can see, and then that's where they ride. As you can see, they don't look too bad, so I'll actually just reassemble it. Alright, for reassembly of the pads and the caliper, what we'll do is we'll put the pads back in, the groove down here where it sits in that, and then this upper groove right here, slide it all the way into the rotor. Do the same thing on this back side. It needs to be flipped around this way to follow the same pattern of the rotor. Slide that together. Once that's in place, you'll actually be able to bring the caliper back over. You may need to push that piston in just a little bit, which I did already, and you'll actually lay it down the same way you took it off, and it should line up with the bolts. Once you get that there, as long as that stays, I'm going to grab a bolt, slide it in the top. You'll be able to feel that kind of get started in that hex piece right here, which is a floating bolt, so it can sit there and adjust as you're using the brakes. Alright, as you can see, it's starting to turn, so I'll need to grab my wrenches. So I'll get that one started. Alright, once you get the caliper back on and snug down to the required specs you need, then all you got to do is replace the wheel. The one thing that people seem to forget is actually bolting them down and torquing them in a star pattern. So you actually go from this one to this one, back up, you know, and the same thing. So then you actually don't tweak the rotor themselves, so it actually won't warp it as easily. That can happen pretty easily, so just make sure you torque it down correctly, make sure the wheel's seated correctly, and you'll be good to go.